Hello again, everybody! Zeg Attack is here with the attack line for Monday, January 7th, 2013. Alright, let's kick off with DJ Zeg Attack news with me, DJing my very first gig of 2013 this past Friday at the Romeo High School basketball varsity boys game against Stevenson. Of course, it was my first basketball game of this season. This is my sixth season with the boys. In my first gig of 2013 and the last show of my biggest tour of all time. Yes, believe it or not, named my tour YOLO, named after the Drake tour, the Drake song, the motto. I had to get some quickly. Anyway, added that tour this past Friday, the basketball game I mentioned, and it was a decent game. I was running a little behind, but we made it just in time. It was mostly a blowout. It was like 54 or 60 something to like 33, and it was an okay crowd. The crowd was decent for being a not close. If it was like more of a tight game, like very exciting game, very close game, crowd would have been more hype, but it was still a decent game. But the cheerleaders took all the attention as usual. But it's because it was deservedly their night. They've been in the games longer, and it was their night. They were honoring the celebration of the state championship. The alumni was there. And I haven't been to the games in a while, so it's mostly background to everybody. Hopefully the next game I'll do won't be... I'll get a little bit more attention than I did this past Friday, but still a decent way to end my YOLO tour. 36 shows, beating my Summer Jubilee 35 shows from last year. So I'm very looking forward to kicking off my next tour this upcoming Friday with a doubleheader at Alma Middle for the lunches and the Splash Bash. A doubleheader I was hoping to do on 12/21/12 until Almont canceled on me. But those 2 days will be part of my next tour kickoff, which is called the Attack Army Tour, named after my fan base. That's why I call my fan base the Attack Army. So, thank you there for the never-ending support. I name a tour after them. So, there you go. That's my next tour name, kicking off this Friday. Now, on entertainment news, starting with your number one movie. Yes, finally! The good news and bad news. The good news is, after 3 weeks, Hobbit finally gets kicked off the number one movie slot. Bad news! The new number one movie is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yes, a fucking horror remake of an old 70s horror movie is number one. That's America for you. That's America for you. They'll make the number one movie go from a rehash of an old trilogy, The Lord of the Rings, to a remake of a 70s horror movie. That's kind of weird, but of course, it may be kicked off soon enough because we got the movie Gangsta Squad coming out, which is getting big buzz. Also getting big buzz is Zero Dark 30, but I don't think Zero Dark 30 would do that well because it's, wheel-based because of the whole Osama bin Laden thing. But Gangsta Squad could be a decent success, and also a haunted house, that comedy parody, like a Paranormal Activity / scary movie parody movie. That's coming out too this weekend. So there you go. New number one movie, finally new number one, but it's Texas Chainsaw fucking Massacre. Now, on with the biggest celebrity news of the weekend. Justin Bieber. Yes, apparently Bieber can't stay out of trouble for long. Of course, as I reported on last Thursday's attack line, Bieber was involved, his car was involved, and his friend was involved in an incident that killed a paparazzi. Of course, the paparazzi apparently saw Bieber smoking weed and chased his car down, but the car was being driven at the time, his Ferrari was being driven by Little Trist. And of course, while trying to figure out if Bieber was in the car or not, which, like I said, he wasn't, he eventually got run over and killed. Well, apparently, the Bieber smoking weed story that the celebrity paparazzi wanted to scoop did end up being true, as real photos of Bieber smoking weed did leak over the weekend. As early Saturday morning, the photos leaked, and Bieber even tweeted out his reaction to these pictures, saying, "Every day, growing and learning. Trying to be better, you get knocked down, you get back up." Well, of course, like I said, his friend Little Trist was driving the car, and I think everyone's blaming Little Trist for Bieber's new obsession with weed, according to several sources, those in Bieber's camp are deeply concerned that Lil Triss has become a powerful negative influence in Bieber's life and feel very strongly Justin needs a clean break from the rapper or else bad things are going to happen. Yes, Lil Triss is 19 years old and apparently has gotten Bieber to do some bad things. Now, I'm not the biggest Bieber fan, but let me say this to Mr. Bieber. We don't want another Lindsay Lohan. We don't want another Lindsay Lohan or Amanda Bynes. All these teen stars that act up all squeaky clean ended up being fucked up beyond relief. Now, it's sad to hear about this weed story from Bieber, yet news also came out that he visited a sick girl in the hospital over the weekend in Pittsburgh or whatever, because this ill girl was supposed to make the Bieber concert. She sold her tickets because she had to go to the hospital and she met Bieber. So, that's weird to hear that Bieber visited a girl in the hospital, and that's not getting as much news as Bieber getting caught smoking weed. But that's role models today, you know. Role models, you know, they don't listen to people sometimes. Like, they do bad things and do a good thing, but the bad thing overwhelms the good thing. So, to Bieber, I guess I'm not the biggest fan of you, but do not act like, we don't want this to be like the start of something. Like, if he keeps hanging out with Twist, you know, it could end up being a Lindsay Lohan proportion incident with Bieber getting caught drinking or even worse. So there you go. Bieber eventually is caught smoking weed and blaming his friend, Lil Triss, as a bad influence by many people. Now, of course, we don't know how this will affect the reaction towards the fans for his upcoming tour Believe extension, which is already sold out. So we'll see if fans start selling the tickets. Well, we know Bieber, weed or not, is apparently going to be touring this year. A band that is rumored to be touring, and is basically the worst kept secret in rock and roll, the Rolling Stones. Now, of course, Rolling Stones did 5 shows last year. 2 in London, 1 in Brooklyn, and 2 in New Jersey, as well as the 12-12-12 concert at one of the 50th anniversary shows. People, including myself, will lead to believe that that wasn't it. That the Stones were going to do more touring this year. Well, despite denying it, now the news is coming out that Stones is probably considering a tour. Especially with various teasers about Stones probably performing at Coachella, a big festival in Indio, forgot the name of the place. It's like Indio something, California. Yeah, Indio Empire Polo Club. And first, the Coachella event was on the Stones' iPhone app, and was taken down immediately. But then, apparently, Coachella posted a photo on the Facebook page of their field with a ball that looked like a stone at first, a rolling stone, but of course they said it was a ball. Mick Jagger is indeed denying that the Stones will be performing at Coachella. Despite that, they're both saying, Keith and Mick are both saying that, yes, the Stones are probably going to tour this year. Mick saying, tour offers on the table. And Keith slyly saying, look out for the tour announcement. Of course, they both said it to Rolling Stone magazine. So, I want to see the Stones, and hearing this, when it comes to anything rumors, including Rolling Stones, Eagles, and Fleetwood Mac, I have a model for those 3 when it comes to rumors about them 3 touring separately. I believe it when I see the tour announcements. You know, Fleetwood Mac's touring after months of rumors, they finally confirmed the rumors. Because usually when there's rumor around Fleetwood Mac, Eagles, or the Stones, they always end up being false. So that's why I'm like half and half excited, half skeptical. But knowing the Stones, they're all going to probably tour. So hopefully, soon enough, like Keith said, we'll get that tour announcement soon enough, and hopefully it'll be cheap enough for me to go. But knowing the Stones, that won't fucking happen. So there you go. Stones, rumored to be touring, especially with rumors about Coachella. And hopefully we get the tour announcement very, very soon. Now, on with sports, starting with my thoughts on NFL Wildcard Weekend. Yes. Got, of course, the Wildcard games happening on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, in the AFC Wildcard game number 1, we had the Houston Texans beating the Cincinnati Bengals in an decent game in 1913. The Packers got revenge on the Vikings in the NFC Wildcard game number 1 as Packers in their home stadium destroyed the Vikings 24-10. Then yesterday's games were very emotional as the AFC Wildcard game 2 pitted the Baltimore Ravens in what is possibly going to be Wayne Lewis's final game at home, defeating the Indianapolis Colts. Now, both AFC and NFC games yesterday ended successful seasons, sadly, of two big up-and-coming rookie quarterbacks, as Andrew Luck's revitalization of the Colts organization ended sadly with their loss against the Ravens, 24-9. As the emotional status of the coach of the Colts, knowing the sum of the Ravens, and the fact that it was, like I said, Wayne Lewis's final home game, turned out to be emotional energy, momentum for the Ravens to win. In the NFC wildcard game number 2 on yesterday, the Washington Redskins lost to the Seattle Seahawks despite a good start. The Redskins fell behind with RG3's knee injury finally giving out on him and having RG3 be carried out after a crucial play in the fourth quarter with his knee twisting big time, heading towards the Seahawks victory 24-14. Sad to see both RG3 and Andrew Luck's seasons, and sadly, but I know that both of them will be motivated to come back next year and play their hardest and make it further in the playoffs than they did this season. Now, of course, with those games out of the way, time for my thoughts on Saturday and Sunday's divisional games. First on Saturday night, the AFC divisional game number 1 will be the Ravens taking on the Broncos. Now, yes, you hear me on here ranting about Eli Manning. I hate Eli Manning and the Giants. I used to hate Peyton too. But after his loss against the Saints at Super Bowl 45, I finally somewhat forgave Mr. Manning. Actually, Super Bowl 44. Anyway, so I want a good comeback story. So I'm cheering on the Broncos against the Ravens, despite Ravens playing on momentum, and it could be Wayne Lewis's last game if the Ravens end up losing. In the NFC wildcard game number 1 on Saturday night will be the Packers against the 49ers. Now, I like the 49ers, and my mom's a Packer fan, so it's going to be very tough to cheer on both those teams this upcoming Saturday. While Sunday's games, the AFC will be the Pats against the Texans. Pats all the way. I'm a big Pats fan. I've been a fan of theirs for years, especially since Brady went to U of M. And with no Giants on the playoff roster, Pats can hopefully get this win over the Texans, beat whoever they face in AFC Championship. I want the Pats and Broncos in AFC Championship. And hopefully Pats can beat the Broncos if Broncos do beat the Ravens. And Pats can go to the Super Bowl and finally win it after 2 failed attempts against the Giants. And like I said, Giants aren't in the championships, thank God, this year. And the other NFC Championship game will be the Seahawks against the Falcons. I would cheer on the Falcons, but Seahawks destroyed Redskins, so gotta cheer on the Seahawks. So probably Seahawks and Packers, that's my prediction, despite me being a Bears fan, but hey, Bears are out. What the hell? Anyway, gotta cheer someone from our division, despite the fact they're the Packers. But my mom likes them, like I said. She likes Clay Matthews. Anyway, so I predict Seahawks will win their game on Sunday, and Packers will beat the 49ers. I like 49ers though, but hey, Packers are my mom's team. And I predict AFC, Broncos, and Pats. So that's my predictions for who I think should play in the NFC Championship. Now, on with more important thing than the college football game tonight, which I don't care for. I like pro, but don't like college. I know everyone's going to be focused on the Bowl Championship game tonight, but I will be focusing on Monday Night Raw tonight. First Raw of the new year. Yes, it's Raw preview time. The last 2 Raws on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve taped sucked. I did see the Christmas Eve one, regrettably, after missing my Christmas party. I was supposed to go to the snow. And it was a bad one. I saw bits and pieces of New Year's Eve Raw. And with the new year, should be awesome one, and especially after reading that Vince is trying to hype up Raw a little bit, especially with next week being the 20th anniversary of Raw. So here we go. Top 4 questions that must be answered tonight. Question number 4. How will the John Cena / Dolph Ziggler / BG Langston feud will continue to develop? Now we saw on the New Year's Eve Raw last week, Cena crashed Dolph Ziggler's New Year's Eve party by dumping shit, poop, what do you want to call it, all over AJ and Dolph. So we'll see if Dolph and Cena's feud will develop even more, especially now that Cena is in the Royal Rumble. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, that leads to question number 3. Will any matches and or more participants for the Rumble match itself be made tonight? Now, Cena's in the Rumble. Sheamus, who won it last year, is also in there. And Randy Orton's in the Rumble. You're probably going to get more people announced for tonight. And, of course, you're always going to have some surprises in there, like surprise legends appearing, like Foley or whatever. So we'll find out any more participants and or matches. Or at least we'll know after the night who is going to face The Rock for the WWE Championship on the Royal Rumble. Speaking of The Rock, nice other segue to question number 2. What will happen with The Rock tonight? Now, The Rock, yes. I'm excited because I got my Rock shirt on. Rock will be live tonight. Not via satellite, but live to begin his feud with whoever is the WWE champion. I'm guessing Punk. But, I mean that Rock will be on Raw and SmackDown every week. I know everyone's been dissing The Rock for not focusing on wrestling as much, being a part-timer, as many people have been dissing him for, especially CM Punk. That's why I think the Punk and Rock feud is going to be really good, especially with the promos. They're both going to deliver badass promos. And I don't know why it comes out tonight. The crowd, including myself at home, is going to eat up every word The Rock says. It's going to be tough for me to pick who am I going to cheer on. I like Punk and The Rock, like both guys, and it's going to be tough for me to cheer on one of them. Although I got a Rock shirt on now, who knows, maybe a real Punk shirt eventually, but I'm a big Rock fan. It's like Rock and Hogan. You know, I like the older guy, Hogan. So maybe I'll pick The Rock in that sense because I'm a bigger fan of Rock than I am a Punk. Because I've been a fan of Rock longer, so there you go. Speaking of Punk, question number 1 will go down tonight in the TLC match between Punk and Ryback. Yes, the match that was supposed to be at the TLC pay-per-view will kick off Raw tonight. Well, not kick off. Well, maybe will be the first big match of 2013 on Raw. Punk and Ryback in a TLC match for the WWE Championship. I predict 2 things will happen. Number 1, I smell the Shield being involved in this matchup. They're going to interfere in some way, shape, or form, especially since the TLC match is no DQ. I also predict The Rock will be involved in this matchup, whether it's during or before or after the match, especially doing something with Punk. Like maybe, here's my scenario. Like Punk wins the match with the Shield interfering, and then after the match, Punk and the Shield beat up Ryback until The Rock comes out, clears the ring, and Rock bottoms Punk at the end of Raw. That's my scenario prediction of what I think could happen tonight during the main event involving the Shield and The Rock. So what will happen on the first Raw of the New Year with Punk and Ryback in a TLC match for WWE Championship and The Rock back? Find out on Raw tonight at 8, 7 Central on USA Network. And after the last 2 Raws, I have somewhat high expectations for this Raw. With the kickoff the Royal Rumble starting tonight, should be an excellent, excellent Raw. But knowing WWE, they let us down very easily. Hopefully this doesn't suck. Alright, that is it for my Atakline for today. See you later for my Raw review this evening. With that in mind, you've all been attacked by the news from Zach. See you later, everybody. Thank you again for watching. Oh, yeah.